Eve, please. Get a bud.
Good afternoon. Look, in my submission, I advocated for a three-water company owned by the council and was thinking of the water care model in Auckland, which I've experienced. Now, what I've since found is that is actually a two-water model, and the council retains responsibility for the stormwater management. And so if I could change my submission to I'm now advocating for a two-water company. The hybrid model, I think, is what you've described it as. The main thing I want to advocate for is charging directly for water so that people appreciate the finite availability, cost of supplying and treating the water they use and dispose of, not having that cost included in the rates, making the actual cost less clear. On my cross-lease property in Auckland in the mid-90s, there was one connection to the water care supply and then a sub-meter to each cross-lease property, with the sub-meters being used to allocate the water care main meter cost. Potable water was charged according to the meter reading. Wastewater is a percentage, I think 75 to 80% of that charge, and there was a daily charge for wastewater. The system worked well and made users aware of the cost of water supply and disposal. My understanding is that the average water use per person in New Zealand is around 250 litres per person per day, which means the current system used by CCC for water charging has a large element of cross-subsidy incorporated. This practice hides the true cost of water supply and disposal and encourages waste and doesn't make the user pay. Water company would correct this by adopting the water care model and allow rates to decrease. My concern with the in-house model is that charging for water won't occur or will be delayed as too expensive or too hard as has happened to date, and will also have the lower borrowing limit. So I'm advocating for charging for water. You pay for what you use, and there is a company there that has some objectives set as to the delivery. Thank you for your time.
Thank you. Melanie, please.
One of the concerns that's been brought up about having a CCO is additional costs, like the cost of having a board and things like that. What do you think about, what's your opinion on that?
Look, I don't know the details. What I know is that the system worked well in Auckland. And I guess there are levels of management within the council operation, and presumably some of those will still exist in a new organisation. But there is going to be a head of that, and there is going to be a board that is managing it, which I'm assuming would incorporate some councillors.
Good. Tim?
Yeah, thank you. I mean, at Christchurch, we've got a number of examples of CCOs that work very well. Our CCHL family, for instance.
Yeah.
You've mentioned Auckland Water, but Wellington Water is the opposite. It's a total problem and sham. When things fall apart, irrelevant of the CCO or whatever, the ratepayers and the city council has to pick it up. What are your thoughts? What's the difference, or what are your thoughts with the Wellington Water example versus Auckland or someone else?
And look, I don't know enough about the Wellington Water situation. I know that the Auckland system, to me, as a ratepayer, worked well. And my understanding is that the Wellington Water system is some less well-defined relationship, which was saying it wanted to do water, but but the councils were responsible for then funding it, and that may be where the underfunding has occurred. I mean, I look at the costs associated with that, and a lot of that will be maybe due to systems, but may also be due to the nature, the emergency nature of all the way they're managing the process.
Yeah. Yep. Thank you.
Brilliant. Spot on. Look at that. 1 second to go. Well done. Thank you very much for coming in. Good on you.
Thank you for your time.
You're welcome. Kevin, please.